Hello everyone, welcome back to Catman's Week. First off, if I sound a bit different, it's because I'm in a different location for a couple weeks. Not sure how the audio will come out, but we'll see. I've decided I'm going to repurpose Catman's Week largely into being a collection of schizo thoughts I've had over the week. I feel like that would be more productive. The going over music and all that has grown a bit stale, saying how many straight up album reviews I've done recently. I won't entirely abandon its old purpose, but there will be a noticeable change. That Sonatu Medallion video really did well, and it's had me thinking a lot about the kind of videos that I should be making. And I'm thinking what I really want to do is more schizo or esoteric sort of videos. You know, comedic but schizo shit as well. But the thing is with that, I don't think I will have enough video-worthy schizo ideas to maintain the daily upload schedule just based off that. But then that led me to thinking, do I really need to upload every day? Especially considering I kind of pad shit out with album reviews anyway. Will the constant album reviews just serve to annoy the people who are here for my other videos? Maybe it would be better to just upload a few times a week as ideas come to me. I'm still thinking about it really, not settled on what I want to do. If you guys have any thoughts about this, leave them in the comments below. Are you bothered about daily uploads? Are you bothered about album reviews? Regardless of what I decide, there are a couple album reviews I do need to put out. I have a sort of obligation to, really. Interested to hear your thoughts anyway. There are a few schizo things that have been happening recently. See me, I'm something of a Pepsi Cola addict. Pepsi Max anyway. I drink so much of that shit, even though I am understanding of how shit it is for ya. And also I am woke to aspartame as well. I used to be mad against that shit. Somewhere along the way I stopped caring, I guess. Aspartame is a mind-stunning agent. It's a status quo realignment drug. Anyway, over the past couple weeks, all of my attempts to obtain Pepsi Max have been completely stifled. About 4 or 5 times in a row, my efforts were in vain. I couldn't seem to get anywhere. So I just figured something was telling me not to drink it. The universe was telling me if you want. And obviously I already knew that I shouldn't be drinking it. And so in the end, I just decided to trust it. Now I feel that my Pepsi Max addiction has gone away. My brain feels fresher. I'm free. When you feel that some unknown force is trying to convince you to act a certain way, and deep down you know it's in your best interest to do what it's telling you, you should just go with it, because the rewards are always large. Maybe right now you're confused like, but Catman, it's just Pepsi Max. It's not like it's heroin or anything. Yeah, I get it sounds silly, but it is at the end of the day something that is doing you no favours. Rotting your teeth and all that. We have a duty to free ourselves really. Once you're free, you can start working to free others. I think it's our duty to have pets, to be honest. I know people who have practically sworn off having pets after a lot of emotional stress after their pets of the past have died. The thing is, you give them a good life, right? But that's not really the point. Beyond that, you are guiding them to become human beings. Just think about it. You're teaching them the ways. You're teaching them where to eat. Commands. They learn what words mean. You gotta think, when you teach them to do certain things or to not do certain things, to them it's probably the same as when we are given some knowledge from a higher being. We are a higher being to them, and we rub off on them in much the same way that higher beings rub off on us. I think this knowledge we bestow upon them allows them to consciously progress in the next life and essentially move up into our third dimensional sphere. We're training them to be human. We take them on as proteges. Pethood is the transition between animal soul and human soul. This is true. I just know it to be true. You know, call me crazy, but I've begun to start thinking that reading is a psyop. You might think that sounds fucking deranged, so I'll elaborate. It's not reading itself that's the problem. It's not the ability to read. Of course, we need to read things to get by in life. What I'm more talking about is there's this perception that reading books is a good use of your time. But I think in a lot of cases, it's not really worth the time spent at all. Like, it really struck me recently because I was reading the Iliad. Classic book, the Iliad. Everyone goes on about the Iliad. It has that kind of aura of being something well worth reading. But it's probably only something well worth reading for a small amount of people, a specific kind of person. You know, most of the Iliad has been investing on some level out of what I've read so far. There was this whole chapter which literally just introduced characters non-stop and described where they were from. Literally just introducing characters, and I'm not being exaggerative. They're not being introduced through some storytelling or anything. They're just being introduced. 20 pages of characters being introduced, and the whole time I was like, okay, it's got to be over soon, right? This is taking the piss. I just genuinely felt like I was wasting my time to an absurd degree. Especially because, like, I'm not going to remember any of these, man. I knew that while I was reading it. You're throwing way too many names at me. I'm just going to forget all of them. And what do you know? I don't remember any of those, man, now that some time has passed. I don't remember a single name. Fucking ridiculous, man. After reading that chapter, I gained the opinion that the Iliad is retarded. And yes, I perfectly understand how dismissive of an opinion that is. But look, reading books is something that consumes a lot of time compared to other consumerist pastimes. And it kind of brought me around to accepting that reading is kind of a psyop. There's this perception about reading where it's seen almost like an automatically productive act. But really, I feel like with books, you read like 400, 500, fucking 1,000 pages. And then when you look back on it all in retrospect, the book took all those hundreds of pages just to make like 1 or 2 points to you. You could learn a lot of points elsewhere in that time. If you're looking to just waste time, then I guess reading is the thing for you. But we only got limited time in existence. I personally do not want to waste my time like that. There are like 3 categories of books that are definitely worth reading though. The first category being that which lines up with your ambitions or occupation. This is obvious. These books will only serve to benefit your grind. Next is psychology, because psychology is just like cheat codes really. You can make yourself a boss with that shit. And finally, mysticism, which is actually just psychology in disguise. So more boss shit. These 3 are worth reading because they're dense with information that is actually relevant to all people and will improve your life and abilities, and they will also drive you to action. Whereas most books are like a time sink. And I just want to clear up. When I'm saying that books aren't worth reading, I'm not saying that they aren't good. There are many books I've enjoyed reading, but when I think about the amount of time that was used up to read them, weighed up with how much knowledge I actually gained from reading them, if I'm being honest really, I've been a fool. And obviously it's not all books. There's exceptions to the rule. I'm more so trying to dispel this association between reading and time well spent. It may even sound like I'm just saying fiction, but fiction has exceptions too. I've learnt a thing or two from fiction books as well. Just again, usually, if you weigh up the time spent with the knowledge gained, it's honestly usually lopsided in the former's favour. I say it's a psyop because if you believe your time is well spent running through all the classic literature, then you're going to be wasting your time, but you're going to be convinced that you're not. And then you lose all this time that could have been spent turning yourself into a boss. Think about it, right? Readers are people who want to spend their time doing productive things. That's a danger really to the people who run everything. So if you get them thinking that they are being productive while they're actually not being that productive, relatively speaking, then that only works in their favor. That's why it's a psyop. You get a sort of accomplished feeling when you finish a book, but all you've really done is consume something for a long amount of time. You've not really achieved anything. But I think that sense of accomplishment is something that reinforces the psyop. Get people feel like they're accomplishing a lot by sinking all their free time into a hobby that is such a vacuum of time that can be so unbeneficial outside of basic things like keeping the mind healthy. We read a lot throughout our days anyway, even if it isn't books. We take in so much information all day long through reading shit. So I wouldn't be worried about the mind's health in that regard. I've probably stated this point a little too over the top, but hopefully the sentiment I'm trying to express is understood. Read as much as you want, just be conscientious. Just weigh up what you're gaining and what you're losing and draw conclusions from that. Decide what to do from that. All I'm trying to say. To finish off this video, I want to give a shout out to Harold Budd for making good music to grind to. Some of his shit gets me proper locked in. That man John Hassel as well, big ups him too. I reckon that's about it for this video. Subscribe to the Catman show, leave a like, leave a comment. Goodbye.